tools. The very best tool you have is right here. That will allow you to do a lot of fine weeding, but it's important that we keep the weeds down because they compete with our plants for nutrients. So, you know, I'm talking about building our soil, feed your soil, it'll feed you. It will, but it'll also feed the weeds, and we don't want the plants to have to compete with them. So the more we can keep our beds weed free, the more opportunity our plants will have to gather nutrients. Onions in particular are a very heavy feeder, and so they want to have lots of nutrients. And you can see we have 2 rows of onions here, and they need a lot of help. So there are short-handled tools and long-handled tools. There's a whole variety of different things. Yeah, this one looks like a pretty crazy guy. There's actually another tool that we don't have here, that we don't have anymore. We had it, but I think it got broken, called a winged weeder. That's kind of fun. I prefer, wherever possible, to use the long-handled tools because it prevents the bending and stooping. But some people also will get a pad to sit on and scoot along the edge. This tool is a stirrup weeder, and so it's kind of named after the horse stirrup, I guess. And this will be a surface weeding tool. Not only are the tool that you select important, but also what you're weeding. So as an example, some plants have very shallow roots, like our blueberries. And so we would want to make sure that we don't go too deep in our weeding techniques. So I'll show how this one works. You would take it along the surface, and it just simply cuts and scrapes those weeds out. Obviously you can't do it right next to an onion row because it would take the onions out also. So that one cuts it. There's other tools. This hoe is along the same concept, but rather than going back and forth, you just draw it towards you in each case. So that would take those out. It's important that these tools stay sharp because they will cut the weed better rather than actually uprooting it. Then there are other tools that you can use that will take, you know, most of the soil around it, and then you can dispose of that. So that will go a little bit deeper when you're cultivating. So that tool also works. And I'm not sure what you call this, fork, I guess. But these all come in short-handled versions also. There's also, if you're going to be weeding and edging an area, for example, you wanted to get this grass out of here, you can go ahead and cut along the edge and then pull that whole mass out, and that'll help with a quick weeding opportunity that way. And then there's some finer, well, I guess I didn't show you how this one works. This you can actually use in a couple of different ways. You could use it as is and just weed this way, and you can see how that's kind of loosening that up, and then you can pull the weeds out. Or if you've got row crops that you want to be a little bit more controlled with, you could, if you had a row crop there, you could take, if your plants were, if I didn't want to pull that one up, I could do this, and that would take all the weeds on each side of it. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so that's kind of a nice feature. Just be sure you don't lose a set screw, and always reassemble it when you're done. Here's another tool. This is a pointed hoe, and this is a really fabulous tool because it gives you the dexterity that you need to get in and weed. So if I wanted to get around these onions, I could just get right along each of those rows without disturbing the onion itself. I have two favorite hand tools for weeding, and they're these two. This is kind of like that claw here, serves the same purpose, a little heavier duty. This is similar to a hoe, a flat-edged hoe that you can use. And this is called a hori hori. This is a fabulous all-purpose tool because it can be used as a soil sampler, a bulb planter. It has a sharp serrated edge. You can use it to cut things or prune. And for deep-rooted, this is what you would use for something really deep-rooted, like a dandelion, anything with a taproot that you want to get down. You can really get down around it and kind of core it out. Just core all the way around it and then pull it out. So this is a really handy tool also. So our lesson today is, yeah, Lisa has a better one there.
Is it better?
It is, because it's got the full shank and the wood handle, and it probably has better steel.
True, it goes all the
I
way
bought
through it.
these not as disposable, but for our garden purpose, because you know I wanted to get some good value. But they work great. They really do. But I would recommend buying one more like what Lisa has.
This one has a little more heft to it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, let's pass those around and people can feel them.
Oh yeah, big difference.
So, when you're buying tools for your home use, buy good tools because they should and can last you a lifetime. I know Lisa has some really great tools, her stainless steel tools, so they're easy to clean and keep sharpened and all of that. So with that, not only are we having the lesson on weeding, but we are practicing weeding today. So